my name is Julie. Welcome to A Beautiful Horizon, where we talk about homemaking, homeschooling, and intentional living. Today we are continuing on in a series that I'm doing all about the curriculum that we're planning to use, or curricula that we're planning to use in 2020-2021 with my three children, grades K, 2, and 6. So it's definitely a series in that we all live together, we're all in the same home, and we're all kind of learning together. So I'm basically separating out what the main subjects are for each grade, but then I'll be doing a separate video on our unit studies and how we use those for our family as a whole. And for a lot of the subjects that we do, we're learning certain aspects of the subject together as a family. If there's anything that I feel would be good for review for an older child, I'll pull him in with the younger ones, or if the younger ones are around, they're hearing what I'm, speaking about to an older child. So we're all kind of learning together. So I'm putting these videos separately for the sake of time, but I feel like they'll make more sense with the context of the other videos. I will leave the link to the playlist for all the videos, as well as our homeschool room tour and some of my favorite homeschool resources. As mentioned in the previous two videos, we are using Math Lessons for Living Education for all three grades. So my son will be doing level 6 this year for my oldest son. And this level is the first level where you actually have the student workbook, and then you have the solutions manual, quizzes, and weekly lesson schedule in a separate book. This is getting them used to doing things on their own a bit more in this book, kind of leaning that direction. So we'll see how the upper grades go. But that's why the solutions are separate, and as well as lots of quizzes in this level. The other levels didn't have a whole lot of the quizzes mixed in, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all works this year. Whenever I pick my curriculum choices, we're all going to find out together what we feel about these choices as we go, and if there are changes that we need to make or things that need to be tweaked as we go, then that's what we do. Here are some of the printables that we laminated for math this year. For 6th grade, we have a geography chart, we have measurements in English and metric, we have decimals and percents chart, fractions chart, multiplication grid, and a blank one as well, greatest common factor chart, and large number place value writing mat. And we've got measuring circles and 3 types of percentage problems. I have a video where I talk about the laminator that I have that I love, so I will link that in the playlist that will be linked in the description box as well.
So I changed my mind about handwriting this year. I had planned and even recorded that I was going to use a handwriting program this year again, as I have the past couple of years with my kids. But I decided instead I am going to kind of do my own thing as far as handwriting goes. So I found these on Amazon. This is the first year I've ever used them. I've never seen anybody else post about them. I haven't watched a whole lot of videos this year, but I've never seen it in the past, this idea. So if you've seen it somewhere, let me know, or if you've tried it, let me know what you think. The paper is a little bit thin, but it's front and back. Now I got the ream, so this is 250 pages, and this is 8.5 by 11, so I can do a 3-hole punch and stick it in a folder with everything else we might have that we would want to put in a folder. And so this is the cursive ream. And they also have a print one, which I got for my daughter, which is for 1st through 3rd grade. You can click the link in the description to check out the playlist that I have of all the videos to see the handwriting pad that I'm going to be using for her. But you would put something like an A or a C or an E or an O or U or whatever in the shaded box. And then if it's an F or an H or something that goes up, you put it up here. And if it's a P or a Q or something that goes down, you bring it down here, and then you get spaces in between the letters, and then you would skip a box for in between the different words. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using these along with our unit studies, kind of like as proof that we went through our unit studies. So whenever we have a section of vocabulary words, they can choose one or more words and write either a sentence or a paragraph depending on their ability. And this is what we're planning to do. So I can either write it on the chalkboard in cursive and he can copy it, or I can write it in print and he can look at cursive writing mat and change it himself. It's something that he is able to do. And or I could write it on here and then he could, copy it onto the page, being able to see exactly how it's supposed to look. So depending on their level of ability, you can do it different ways. But I'm excited to try this. Like I said, I have not tried it before, but when I saw it online, I was thinking, wow, this looks great, to make sure that their handwriting is nice and neat. And then once they get familiar with how they're supposed to be writing, then they won't need, to use this anymore. But I'm hoping that it helps just to keep everything uniform, not too high, not too low, not too far spaced out, not too close together, enough space in between the words. And we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to use this along with vocabulary words that we have in our unit studies to kind of further emphasize the different things that we're learning. And then if we run out of vocabulary words and we want to write, more days of the week or something, then we can always copy a scripture or a famous quote or whatever, something like that.
Then we have musical multiplication, and we've been using this since last year, the year before last, I'm not sure. But we really like it. I guess it was last year we started it. And we'll be listening to this together. This is another one of those things that we all do together. So, my 4-year-old knows some of his multiplication facts, even though he doesn't know how to add yet. So, we're just singing the songs together. We're learning together. So we will continue on with, listening to these and memorizing them for the other two, probably forever. So definitely recommend this. Last year we used the language lessons for a living education, but the way that they do spelling was just it didn't feel right for our family. So we decided that instead of doing language lessons for living education, we would go eclectic this year. And so we are going to be using the daily grams for 6th grade. Got the student workbook, and then it has the teacher's edition with all the answers in it. And we've already gone through quite a bit of grammar through the years, so we have an idea of everything. But this will be good practice, and we'll be able to look anything up if we need to. So we're just going to keep it really simple and go with the daily grammar practice. And then for spelling, we're going to be using spelling you see as well. So this is what he's going to be going through. We're going to be doing Wild Tales this year, and that comes with the guide to handwriting, as well as the word chunking pencils, which is my favorite part of the program. I think that's really going to help him as a visual learner to remember how to spell all these different words with all these different word chunks. And we also are going to be using Living Art Lessons. This is also by Master Books. I am excited to check this out, and we'll be doing this all together, but I'll be doing it again later for the younger kids if it all works out. I'm excited about learning about different types of art and concepts related to art together with them. My kids like artsy things, especially my daughter, but my son has been getting into it a little bit also, so I think this will help them to just have more tools in their tool belt to create better art. I will be making a separate video on how we use unit studies all together, and that is how we learn science and history and geography and cultures and all of the above. So that's what we'll be using for our writing inspiration as well. So stay tuned for that video. It will be linked in the playlist in the description once it is posted. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in that next video.